Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today on the webinar for Sharpening Your Project Biz with Bluebeam Extreme and Excel. My name is Dan, and I'm here with SolidCAD, and I'm here to give you a bit of an introduction to the Bluebeam capabilities of integrating it with Microsoft Excel. So let's get started. So before we kind of jump ahead here, let's take a quick introduction about who SolidCAD is. We are Canada's only Platinum Bluebeam partner. We do have a coast-to-coast coverage with Bluebeam certified specialists in both technical and sales all across Canada. And we provide full technical support, sales, and training for all Bluebeam products and services for our customers and prospects. Beyond just Bluebeam, we also have other solutions that we help clients bridge, using some of the Autodesk products or some of the other field solutions. And Bluebeam is very, very commonly used in many different industries. We do like to focus on three main buckets in our clients' businesses: design, manage, and share. We find that these are three main challenges a lot of companies have, and it helps us improve our deliverable by understanding these primary parts of your business. Bluebeam is actually available in many different industries, including architecture, engineering, construction, infrastructure, manufacturing, and plant. We find that Bluebeam has become so commonly used that pretty much anyone in these fields is likely to have either a free copy or a paid copy. So beyond just marking up Bluebeam, you can actually use it for full collaboration across many PDFs and invite many different people from different industries to help you improve your communication. SolidCAD also provides other BIM services, including implementation and training. We also provide full programming and customization. So if you did have any interest in improving Bluebeam's capabilities, creating custom scripts, you can reach out to us and we'll be happy to scope that out and provide you with that deliverable. We also have some other technical support services, as well as scanned BIM and data management. For today's webinar, we're going to be covering three main things. We're going to take an introduction to the Bluebeam measuring and takeoff tools. We'll kind of get a better understanding of the markup tab and the columns within it. And then we're going to take a look at the connection with Bluebeam and Excel using the Quantity Link feature. Please note that the feature of using Quantity Link has to be used by Bluebeam Extreme 2017 and above. Extreme 2020 has recently been launched, so you can actually go and access your Review 2020 simply by going to licensing.bluebeam.com/upgrade and inputting your information in here. You do need to have an active maintenance in order to access the latest version of Bluebeam Revu. If you don't, please give us a call. We'll be happy to discuss with you the purchase of an upgrade or delayed maintenance. So let's carry on. Let's jump right into Bluebeam. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to open up one of my template files in here, and we're also going to open up a sample PDF. Oh, I do not have it here. Great. So once you've launched Bluebeam Revu 2020, you should probably notice that there's a bit of an interface change compared to the old versions of 2017 and below. For one thing, you should note that all the colorful icons and interface has all been changed. It is now kind of monochrome, giving you a lot more space on your desktop and interface to work with. Easily, you can find a lot of your different tools within Bluebeam. right from any of the tabs here simply by clicking on the right mouse button and clicking using Show. So if you're not sure about where to find some of the tools, just simply right click and a good chance you'll find it there. Also really important to note, a tip and trick is that if you are using Bluebeam to do different functions or tasks, you can create multiple profiles in here. So for example, if you had a field issues workflow that you wanted to go after, you can easily switch into a field review and have a lot more real estate and get the key tools that you need, such as capture camera, in order to take field pictures if you're using a tablet. In the case that we're working today with a quantity takeoff, we're going to go into our quantity takeoff profile, which will easily give me a little bit more real estate on the sides. You should also be able to access your markup tab simply by dragging the tab from below or from the sides here, again, if they are open. And you can easily just double click to give you a little bit more real estate. These also can easily be dragged anywhere you want it to. So if you don't want it here and you want it on a different tab, you can easily just click and drag it. So I'm going to leave the way it is right now, and we're going to work on some markups. The one thing that you should note is down below here, we do have a number of different markups already created. Tool chest is very important to create that. If you have a very well established tool chest, it will make your workflow a lot easier and faster. If you look down here, there's a little icon that most people who are using Bluebeam for many years haven't even noticed, that you can easily increase your real estate or on your screen by simply dragging this up and down to give you a little bit more of a preview. So if you do have a large monitor and you don't want to see things so large, you can decrease it to give you a lot easier understanding of your screen. We can also go in here and change the view from symbol, again, condense it further, or stay in the detail if you need to find things pretty quickly based on description. In here, I've already created some markup tools that we're going to be using for this presentation. Going down below here, we have here a markup list, which we can use Bluebeam right out of the box to create some measurements. So right now, we've got here, for example, hardwood flooring, which is CP3, which we easily have assigned a cost value to it to give us a simple subtotal. So Bluebeam, we do have a lot of users who just use Bluebeam to do all their takeoffs and calculations. But in other cases, we have a lot of individuals who prefer linking Bluebeam into Excel to give them a lot more flexible use with Excel, and also to further refine their bits, perhaps using additional formulas or macros or integrations to other tools. So I'll show in a minute how that works. But for now, let's take a look at how Bluebeam works just out of the box using the tools from here. So in here, we have here flooring, tile, travertine. So we can easily click that and we can easily increase that. So you can see here how it's taking the shape here as we're kind of dragging it, and the square footage is changing. Now we can notice here everything is easily clicking, and we can zoom in here and we can easily snap to that box right there if we had to. But if it's not, what we want to do is easy. We can turn that on simply by going right into our preferences, and we can easily snap that, turn that back on to snap on to particular parts of the drawing. That's also available through right here in your view, where you can easily say snap to content. So if I clicked on snap to content, you can easily see it snap right to the lines of the drawing. Now you notice here that the columns schedule is embedded to the profile that you're using, but also embedded to the PDF. So from here, we can easily go into our column schedule and we can easily modify that and change it as needed. Easily, you can drag things right from the markup tab, or you can go into here and turn things on and off as needed. If you notice here, there are things that are built in, so we cannot delete those. But other options are such as subtotal as a custom column, we can delete. In here, we can also add additional columns if we had to, if you had to create some additional formulas. For example, we can easily create a formula saying measurement, times another variable if we had to. So this makes it easier to measure not just beyond simple lines or areas. We can also go into slopes, roofs, getting into volumes if you're dealing with concrete. There's quite a bit that we can do in here. We can also go right into here, for example, and create some additional values on a subtotal. So we can go into formulas, into the materials, and we can see here that we can add some additional sub-options to that material. So it's completely up to you of how you want to work that. You can either create one master markup for flooring and then sub-choose the material that you're going to use, or create individual markups for every version of the material in here. So if you can use either 4 different markups for flooring or create one markup with the different material choices. From what we can do from here, we can also take advantage of using the filter. So if you are working in Bluebeam, you might find that your markups and your takeoffs can get pretty high, getting into the thousands if you're dealing with a very large complex building. So easily we can take advantage of taking the filters within here to get down to exactly the particular takeoff that we need. So if you just want to see a particular material to deal with one type of trade, definitely go through the filter. Make sure to take advantage of the color coding that will help you also figure out where everything is located. We also have the option to take this into a summary and use a CSV file from here. So using the CSV file, we can easily go into the columns, turn them on and off as needed, filter through particular parts of that column schedule, and then output that into our desktop. So we're going to go ahead and we can click OK. And what it ends up doing, it will spit out a simple CSV file as so. There's nothing unique about this, but again, it's a little bland and we need to further refine this. So this is where quantity takeoff makes great sense. So let's look at how that works. So what I have here is Bluebeam, a template Excel sheet that I'm using for doing some quick calculations. And you can further refine your templated Excel sheet any way you want. You might have one for concrete, you might have one for all flooring, for all walls. You might have one master file that you can use all the time. So what we can do here is I'm going to just show 2 parts of my screen here, and I'm just going to close this tab here because we're not going to be needing this anymore. The new markup tab is now on the right-hand side using Excel. So now if we look at here, I've created a couple of simple measurements. So the first thing you need to know is, what is a quantity link? Well, quantity link is creating a dynamic connection between Excel and the Bluebeam PDF. So for example, we have here hardwood, and we have here hardwood for, actually we did not actually connect that yet, but let's take a look at right here, carpet. Carpet for 262 square feet, we have here connected. So as I'm making that change right here, you can see here immediately the carpet on the right-hand side has changed to 404. So again, I might be needing to print this off really quickly, and I do not want to constantly output a new file. So easily we can change that, go into here, and we might just go into here, snap to that corner, create a control point right there, and then snap to that. And that's slowly changing, and that's great. And what we see here is I already have a simple formula for multiplying this dynamic number by 38 by $3 to give me a quick subtotal. And again, you can add macros or more advanced formulas within this templated file while it's connected to Bluebeam. In the same case here, if we look at the toilet, we're going to slowly watch that number change. So we're easily going to go into right-click, resume count, and just watch that slowly keep counting. And then escape, and that number went from, I believe, 6 or 5 to 9. And we have tile the same way. We can easily change that. We can easily increase that from here to here, and that number will dynamically change. So how do we get to this stage? Well, very simple. The first thing we always have to do when you're opening up your template file and the source file that you're going to use, we want to make sure that the connection is bridged. So from here, we're going to take hardwood. I'm going to deal with this hardwood calculation right here because we're going to do some additional hardwood measurements. So easily we're going to go from here. I'm going to click on quantity link, right click. And if you can't see this from here, you're going to want to make sure that you find it under your administrator. Right here. And you're going to want to make sure that this is checked off. Microsoft Excel quantity link dash review 2017 or above. Make sure that's checked and then reset Excel. So what we're going to do in here, we're going to go into here, we're going to click the source file because the file has not been loaded yet. We're going to assume that it hasn't been loaded yet. So from here, I'm going to add the file, and this is the file right here. And again, you can add multiple files and create multiple links. So if you have this template file that has to be connected to a number of different PDFs, no problem, we can easily add them in. Click that, and then click OK. So now this link between this PDF file and this Excel sheet are now connected. So now we want to create a link. So we're going to click a link and where you want to get the measurement of the area, because this is an area measurement, and it could be anything. It could be a height, it can be a wall, it could be a volume, but we want the area. And what we want is it to show us the hardwood. So we're going to go into here, and we know the label that we put for that area calculation is hardwood, and we're going to click OK. And if you notice here, what ends up happening is 250 ends up changing to 258, and suddenly our cost number changes. So I'm going to make sure that this is updated. Yep. And so now we can go into our tool chest, and we can take it to hardwood, and we can start doing some quick calculations. Okay. Now, if you are going to use this shape again, really simple, we can just double click that right here to get into our, and then we could just use that reuse we had in the previous one here. And we can go in there. There we go. So far, so good. We're moving pretty quickly through this. So that definitely helps us in our day-to-day business by using the dynamic link. However, in some cases here, we might have to do an area calculation of this entire, let's say, pool. Well, the old way of doing the calculation is, well, you would go in here, you would create a control point, and then you would have to create another control point. Then you're going to create an arc. Zoom in here. We're going to want this line to be another control point. This line, we're going to and slowly what you're going to end up having to go in here and then slowly modifying that to the shape to get that you need. Well, this is pretty time consuming to shape this out for the pool. It could take us a good 15 to 20 minutes, if not longer, and a lot of stress on our mouse. So let's delete that and let's go into here, and we'll just minimize our screen here on the Excel sheet. We don't need that for now. And what we could do is take advantage of using the tools such as dynamic fill. So we're going to zoom in here, and we're going to go into using dynamic fill, and we can take a look at here and decrease that and slowly work our way slowly get into those corners. Oh, too small. Let's just change that. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now we can zoom out. And now we can get through this one pretty quickly. You can see how fast I'm getting this, really fast. Perfect. We're going to get this big curve right here. You can see how quickly what Bluebeam's doing it is easily grabbing on those lines. So now, just for this example here, now what I could do is, if taking this, I can ask Bluebeam to say, give me a quick area calculation on this round curved surface, click apply, and then it's done that. So this is a small example. I didn't finish all of it, but what it did was give me a quick ability to create that markup around that, and that easily updated my tile calculation right here. So now that number has easily been updated. So there's a lot of things that we could do in Bluebeam that many companies are underutilizing its tools within it. And again, looking at this information, we can either do all our cost calculations right here in Bluebeam, or we can integrate that with the quantity link within Bluebeam Extreme. So that pretty much concludes our presentation for today, just as an introduction to quantity link. If you do have any questions or are interested in improving your adoption of Bluebeam in your business, please head out to our website, take a look at our training and our Bluebeam Boost programs. We do have some simple half-day to a full-day trainings to get you to use Bluebeam more effectively for either administration, for design markup review, for estimations, for contract administration, even for a specific track for civil engineering if you're using AutoCAD Civil 3D. A lot of different things that we can help you do or even further customize the training for your business. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send us an email at bluebeam@solidcad.ca, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you again for joining us, and I hope you have a great day.